In the dark, pressure-crushed depths of the Pacific Ocean, a massive pod of sperm whales was observed arranging their bodies into a tight, defensive ring known as a Marguerite Formation, facing outward with their powerful tails to protect their vulnerable young from an oncoming assault. This was not an ordinary encounter, as the attackers approaching from the Twilight Zone were not sharks or human vessels, but a highly disciplined vanguard of orcas executing a calculated siege that lasted for over 4 hours. This spectacular event represents the ultimate clash of titans, proving that when the largest deep-diving predators on Earth meet the most intelligent tactical force in the sea, the blue frontier transforms into a high-stakes arena of strategy and endurance. Welcome to Wild Planet Techno-Techs. It is an absolute privilege to have you with us as we journey into the most mysterious, atmospheric layers of the marine empire to witness a confrontation that has stunned the global scientific community. Today, we are breaking down the unprecedented tactical maneuvers recorded when orcas deliberately target the deep ocean giants, challenging the very limits of mammalian strength and cooperation. Before we proceed into the core of this investigation, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment below. Do you believe the orca ability to coordinate long-term sieges against creatures multiple times their size is their most impressive evolutionary trait? Your continuous participation is the vital force that allows our dedicated team to keep documenting the raw, unaltered reality of the wild. The open ocean plains away from the continental shelves serve as the backdrop for these rare, high-stakes encounters between apex forces. Marine biologists tracking the movements of oceanic orca ecotypes have discovered that these pods possess a completely unique behavioral playbook compared to their coastal relatives who target sharks or fish. When hunting sperm whales, the orcas cannot rely on quick structural strikes or simple ambush methods due to the immense physical mass and deep diving capabilities of their targets. Instead, they must deploy a highly complex strategy of exhaustion, using their superior speed at the surface to prevent the deep divers from recovering their oxygen reserves. The mechanical precision of this exhaustion protocol is breathtaking to analyze from a behavioral standpoint. A typical sperm whale can dive to depths exceeding 3,000 feet to hunt for giant squid, staying submerged for over an hour at a time. However, when they return to the surface, they are in a state of metabolic debt, requiring prolonged periods of regular breathing to clear lactic acid from their massive muscle tissues. The orcas understand this biological vulnerability perfectly, timing their arrival to coincide with the exact moment the giants break the surface, immediately initiating a series of harassing maneuvers that disrupt the breathing cycles of the entire whale pod. By preventing the sperm whales from taking deep, sustained breaths, the orcas slowly but surely limit their ability to dive back down into the safe sanctuary of the dark abyss. This effectively traps the giants at the surface, a foreign environment where their massive size becomes a physical disadvantage against a highly agile, coordinated pack. The orcas move in a staggered formation, with individual subgroups rotating lines of attack to maintain constant pressure while allowing other family members to rest and conserve energy, demonstrating a profound understanding of energy management during a prolonged tactical engagement. Please take a moment to ensure you are subscribed to our channel and have joined our global community of wildlife observers. Your active interaction with our content is the exact engine that keeps Wild Planet X alive as we navigate the most remote and challenging frontiers of nature. Every single view, like, and comment helps our creative team bring these deep, authentic stories of marine intelligence to a worldwide audience that respects the true complexity of the wild. In our second major phase of observation, we examine how the targeted giants respond to this high-intensity surface harassment. The Marguerite Formation deployed by the sperm whales is an ancient, culturally transmitted defense mechanism designed to protect the most vulnerable members of the social unit. The adult females, some weighing over 15 tons, lock their heads together in the center of a dense circle, creating a living shield around the small calves who lack the physical endurance to withstand direct contact with the hunters. This defensive ring presents a massive wall of muscle and bone to the oncoming orcas, with the powerful tail flukes of the adult whales facing outward toward the open water. A single strike from the tail of an adult sperm whale carries enough hydraulic force to break the ribs of an attacking orca forcing the hunters to approach with extreme caution. The orcas do not rush blindly into this defensive perimeter. Instead, they swim just outside the reach of the swinging tails, using high-frequency vocalizations to probe the formation for any sign of weakness or individual panic. This phase of the confrontation becomes a profound test of psychological endurance between two highly intelligent social structures. The matriarch of the sperm whale pod maintains the integrity of the ring through a series of rhythmic acoustic clicks known as codas, which signal reassurance to the younger animals and coordinate the defensive movements of the adults. If a single whale loses discipline and breaks away from the circle, the entire formation risks collapse, exposing the calves to the swift, surgical positioning of the orca pack. The patience demonstrated by the hunting pod during these multi-hour standoffs highlights a level of cognitive planning that mirrors advanced geopolitical strategies. The orcas are fully aware that the giants cannot maintain the high-stress defensive formation indefinitely at the surface. As time passes, the energy reserves of the whales begin to deplete, and the absolute necessity of maintaining a stable breathing rhythm forces individual animals to adjust their positions, creating microscopic gaps in the living wall that the orcas are waiting to exploit. As we reach the midway point of our documentary script, we want to encourage you to share this exploration with fellow admirers of natural history. Your continuous engagement forms the absolute foundation of our independent research here at Wild Planet XXX. Drop a comment sharing your thoughts on whether the defensive circle of the giants or the rotating siege of the hunters shows a more sophisticated understanding of group dynamics. The fourth phase of our journey transitions into the specific maneuvers used by individual orca specialists to break the defensive resolve of the group. Within the hunting pod, specific larger males are often tasked with executing high-speed surface charges aimed directly at the junctions where the bodies of the sperm whales overlap. These charges are not intended to inflict direct injury, but rather to create massive wakes and physical displacement that force the target animals to expend critical energy, realigning their positions. While the larger males create these dramatic physical diversions at the front of the formation, the smaller, more agile females execute low-profile approaches from the flanks. They glide just beneath the rolling swells, using the turbulent white water generated by the swinging tails to mask their own silhouettes. This dual-layer approach divides the attention of the defensive matriarchs, forcing them to constantly recalculate their defensive angles and increasing the overall state of confusion within the center of the ring. Moreover, the acoustic environment during this phase becomes incredibly complex and saturated. The orcas begin to modify their standard echolocation clicks into loud, metallic acoustic bursts that bounce violently off the massive heads of the sperm whales. This intense sound projection is designed to disrupt the sensitive echolocation arrays of the giants, making it difficult for them to track the exact movements of the hunters through the bubbles and foam of the surface waters. It is a masterful application of sensory saturation, turning the clear open water into a chaotic arena of conflicting signals. If a calf becomes separated from the central core of the formation even for a few yards, the orcas move with instantaneous synchronization to block its path of return. They form a solid wall of black and white bodies between the calf and its mother, using their physical mass to herd the younger animal further away from the protection of the group. This isolation tactic is executed with absolute calmness, proving that the pod functions not as a collection of separate predators, but as a single, highly integrated superorganism operating with a shared tactical blueprint. Please take a brief moment to verify that you are fully subscribed to Wild Planet XXX and have left a comment on this video if you respect the extraordinary survival adaptations of these deep-sea titans. Your direct support ensures that our independent channel can continue to spend hundreds of hours researching, writing, and presenting these detailed insights into the complex behaviors of the planet's most advanced animal societies. The sixth phase of our investigation reveals the profound ecological implications of these deep ocean confrontations across the wider marine framework. When a major siege occurs, it attracts the attention of various secondary scavengers and pelagic predators who gather at a safe distance to observe the outcome. Large oceanic sharks, such as oceanic whitetips and blue sharks, swim along the periphery of the zone, drawn by the intense acoustic signatures and chemical traces spilled into the currents during the hours of high-intensity movement. This gathering of apex forces creates a temporary, localized hotspot of biological activity in the middle of the open ocean desert. The presence of the orcas completely suppresses the standard hunting activities of all other species in the sector, as every creature adjusts its behavior to avoid the path of the monarchs. This demonstrates that the influence of a specialized orca pod extends far beyond their immediate prey, actively shaping the movement patterns and stress levels of the entire pelagic community across dozens of square miles. Furthermore, the survival of the sperm whale pod after such an intense encounter depends heavily on the long-term memories of their oldest members. Once the orcas finally break off the siege due to nightfall or energy depletion, the whale matriarch must guide her exhausted family away from the sector, utilizing deep ocean currents to travel towards safer, low-risk zones where the calves can rest without the immediate threat of a secondary assault. This reliance on ancestral geographical knowledge is the ultimate shield of the giants, matching the strategic intelligence of the hunters with an equally powerful legacy of endurance. The final phase of our global analysis brings us to a profound realization about the true nature of these evolutionary rivalries. The confrontation between the orca and the sperm whale is not a story of simple dominance, but a beautifully balanced testament to the power of mammalian cooperation, social unity, and intellectual adaptability beneath the waves. Both species have evolved complex cultural traditions that allow them to protect their family structures against the most extreme pressures the world ocean can present. The ongoing narrative of the deep sea remains one of the most compelling chronicles of life on Earth, filled with grand strategies that human science is only beginning to fully decode. By continuing to observe, respect, and preserve these magnificent pelagic societies, we ensure that the grand theater of the open ocean remains intact, allowing the true monarchs of the abyss to continue their eternal dance of strategy and survival across the blue frontier. The journey on Wild Planet Tmestranen concludes here for now, but our independent mission to document the great mysteries of the wilderness never stops. We will continue to track the movements of the global pods, analyze the deep acoustic signals of the sea, and stand as faithful chroniclers for the true rulers of the deep. The world is a vast, beautiful, and endlessly surprising place, and it is our greatest privilege to share these stories with you. Keep your eyes fixed on the distant horizon, your mind open to the unfolding wonders of creation, and your spirit firmly rooted in the wild. Stay safe, stay observant, and keep watching the waves for the next chapter in the empire of the monarchs. The immense physical pressure of the open ocean swells, rolls over the defensive perimeter of the giants, creating a chaotic landscape of white water and deep sonic vibrations. In this fifth phase of the confrontation, the orcas shift from random harassment to a highly disciplined protocol known as the tactical wedge. By forming a tight V-shaped line of 5 mature individuals, the hunting pod drives forward like a solid wedge of muscle and bone, aiming directly for the weakest connection point between 2 adult sperm whales. This is not an act of raw aggression. It is a calculated application of hydrodynamic force designed to split the living wall and create a temporary opening before the defensive matriarchs can readjust their massive bulk. Welcome back to Wild Planet X and X. It is an absolute honor to have you with us for this continuing exploration into the most atmospheric and secret arenas of the marine empire, where the true rulers of the deep test the absolute limits of strategy and survival in the year 2026. We are breaking down the deep sea maneuvers that prove that the ocean is not just a habitat, but a highly complex tactical theater where information and positioning dictate the fate of entire family lineages. Before we reveal the final defensive adaptations of the pelagic giants, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment below. Do you believe the orca ability to execute precise geometric formations like the tactical wedge is a sign of a conscious understanding of the physical leverage? Your direct engagement is the vital force that allows our team to continue chroniclers of the wild. The internal communication network of the hunting pod during these advanced formations remains one of the most stunning examples of parallel intelligence on our planet. While the sperm whales rely on their massive acoustic clicks to maintain structural unity, The orcas switch to a series of ultra-high-frequency pulsed calls that operate well above the hearing threshold of their targets. This allows the hunters to share instantaneous tactical updates across the grid without alerting the giants to the exact direction of the next oncoming wedge. It is a brilliant display of digital warfare beneath the waves, ensuring that the movements of the pack remain completely unpredictable until the exact moment of physical contact. Furthermore, the physical resilience of the younger orcas is carefully managed throughout this prolonged engagement. While the mature adults execute the high-risk charging maneuvers at the front of the wedge, the juvenile members are stationed precisely 200 meters behind the main line, operating within the calm slipstream generated by the larger bodies. This positioning serves a dual purpose. It protects the youth from the crushing impact of the sperm whale tail flukes, while providing them with a front-row view of the exact spatial coordination required to break a giant defensive ring. This hands-on, high-stakes training ensures that the complex operational playbook of the open ocean ecotype is preserved and passed down without error. The geographical layout of the open ocean plain also plays a hidden role in how these encounters unfold over multiple hours. Even though there are no solid reefs or coastal drop-offs to utilize as barriers, the orcas use the deep thermal layers of the water column as a sort of invisible wall. By driving the sperm whales into a sector of the ocean where a strong downward current meets a warm surface layer, the hunters force the giants to swim against a heavy physical resistance, accelerating their rate of exhaustion. This is an advanced application of oceanographic data, proving that the orca reads the moving water with the precision of a modern research vessel. Please take a moment to ensure you are fully subscribed to our channel and have joined our global community of dedicated wildlife observers. Your continuous interaction with our work is the exact engine that keeps Wild Planet XXX alive as we navigate the most remote frontiers of nature. Every single view, like, and comment helps our team bring these deep, authentic accounts of animal strategy to a global audience that respects the raw reality of the wilderness. In our sixth major phase of observation, we examine the profound metabolic calculations that underpin these multi-hour standoffs in the deep blue. To justify the immense expenditure of energy required to sustain a 4-hour siege against 15-ton giants, the hunting pod must be certain of a massive biological reward. In the open ocean, a successful operation against a sperm whale calf provides the pod with thousands of pounds of highly concentrated blubber and muscle tissue, enough to sustain a family of 20 individuals for over 2 weeks without a single additional hunt. This high-value resource target allows the nomadic pods to maintain their massive energetic requirements while traveling across the blue deserts of the Pacific, where traditional food sources are incredibly scarce. The orca is a masterful student of investment, balancing the high risk of injury against the long-term survival stability of the family unit. Every movement, from the initial acoustic scan to the execution of the final wedge, is evaluated through a strict framework of energy conservation, ensuring that the pod never expends more force than the prize is worth. Moreover, the psychological standoff between the two species during the late stages of the siege reveals a deep layer of emotional resilience. As the adult sperm whales grow physically tired from maintaining the Marguerite ring, they begin to rely on a behavior known as physical anchoring, pressing their massive heads tightly against one another to share the physical burden of staying afloat. The sight of these 15-ton mammals supporting each other, weighed amid the rolling swells, is a powerful testament to the social depth of the giants, proving that their willingness to protect the collective structure matches the tactical determination of the attackers. The final chapters of this oceanic duel are often decided not by raw power, but by the arrival of external environmental changes such as the fading of the light or a sudden shift in the surface weather. When the sun begins to drop below the western horizon, casting a deep purple shadow across the pelagic zone, the acoustic conditions of the water alter rapidly, allowing the sperm whales to project their low-frequency echolocation signals over much greater distances. This sudden increase in sensory range gives the defensive matriarchs a temporary tactical advantage, allowing them to spot oncoming orca wedges from further away and adjust their living shield accordingly. As we approach the final segments of this epic marine chronicle, please take a final moment to check that you are subscribed to Wild Planet XXX and have left an insightful comment below. Your active presence in our community is what allows us to remain dedicated witnesses to the unfolding wonders of the natural world. And we are deeply grateful for your time and your shared passion for the preservation of these wild spaces. The ultimate conclusion of these deep ocean confrontations stands as a powerful reminder of the sophisticated balances that govern the life of our blue planet. Neither the orca nor the sperm whale seeks total destruction. Instead, they operate within a grand evolutionary dance that has shaped the intelligence, the social structures, and the physical capabilities of both species for millions of years. By continuing to study and protect these spectacular pelagic family units, we secure a future where the grandest mysteries of the abyss can continue to inspire awe and respect across the generations. The journey on Wild Planet Met concludes here for now, but our independent mission to document the great chronicles of the wild never stops. We will continue to track the monarchs, analyze the deep signals of the sea, and stand as faithful guardians for the legacy of the true kings of the abyss. The world is a vast, beautiful, and endlessly surprising place, and it is our greatest privilege to share it with you. Keep your eyes fixed on the distant horizon, your mind open to the wonders of creation, and your spirit firmly rooted in the wild. Stay safe, stay curious, and keep watching the waves for the return of the monarchs. The deep structural patterns of the ocean swells begin to shift as the confrontation enters its seventh critical phase, where the endurance of the giants is tested against the absolute persistence of the hunting pod. The sperm whales, having maintained their dense defensive circle for over 3 hours, begin to experience severe muscle fatigue due to the constant hydraulic strain of keeping their massive bodies tightly locked together at the surface. The orcas, sensing this subtle decline in physical resistance through the changing frequency of the whale's respiratory slaps, initiate a highly coordinated acoustic suppression protocol designed to break the psychological focus of the defensive matriarchs. Welcome back to Wild Planet X and X. It is an absolute honor to have you with us for the 7th chapter of our comprehensive documentary script project, where we explore the most remote and atmospheric tactical arenas of the global ocean. Today we are breaking down the high-stakes sensory dynamics that occur when two of the most socially sophisticated societies on Earth clash in a battle of pure focus and strategic alignment. Before we dive into the final stages of this open ocean siege, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment below. Do you believe the orca ability to accurately decode the physical exhaustion levels of another species through sound is their most advanced sensory capability? Your continuous engagement is the vital force that allows our independent team to keep producing these highly detailed accounts of the natural world. The acoustic suppression strategy deployed by the hunting pod is a brilliant example of behavioral modification. Instead of using standard communication whistles, the orcas begin to emit a synchronized, low-frequency clicking pattern that perfectly mimics the echo returns of a solid underwater landmass. This artificial sonic wall reflects off the massive acoustic lenses in the heads of the sperm whales, tricking their sensitive echolocation systems into registering a non-existent physical barrier just a few yards from their current position. The giants become disoriented by these false spatial returns, causing individual animals to instinctively lean away from the phantom obstruction and inadvertently creating microscopic tears in the structural integrity of the living ring. This phase of the operation demonstrates that the orca views the sensory apparatus of its prey not as an impenetrable shield, but as a complex system that can be systematically bypassed or manipulated through calculated input. The hunting family moves with a unified rhythm, with each individual maintaining a precise distance from the next to ensure that the acoustic barrier remains completely seamless across the entire western flank of the whale formation. This level of group discipline requires immense cognitive focus, as each orca must continuously adjust its own vocal output to match the changing pitch and frequency of its neighbors, functioning as a single biological synthesizer in the middle of the pelagic desert. Furthermore, the physical positioning of the dominant orca females during this phase highlights the critical role of matriarchal leadership within the hunting community. While the younger males provide the raw physical presence needed to sustain the high-speed perimeter patrols, it is the experienced females who swim closest to the defensive ring, using their superior spatial awareness to identify the exact moment a gap opens between the exhausted whales. They do not rush the opening. Instead, they use their tails to signal the exact coordinates back to the rest of the pack, ensuring that when the final charge is launched, it is executed with absolute maximum efficiency and zero wasted energy. Please take a brief moment to ensure you are fully subscribed to our channel and have joined our global community of dedicated wildlife observers. Your continuous interaction with our scripts is the exact engine that keeps Wild Planet XXX alive as we navigate the most distant frontiers of nature. Every single view, like, and comment helps our creative team bring these deep, authentic accounts of animal intelligence to a worldwide audience that respects the ultimate complexity of the wilderness. In our eighth and final phase of observation for this open ocean chronicle, we examine the profound long-term legacy of these interactions across the evolutionary history of both cetacean lineages. The relationship between the orca and the sperm whale is not a simple narrative of predator and prey, but a magnificent multi-million-year-old dialogue of tactical adaptation that has actively shaped the social structures, the communication systems, and the physical capabilities of both species. Every time a hunting pod deploys a new variation of the tactical wedge, and every time a whale family successfully holds the Marguerite Formation, the cultural boundaries of both societies are expanded. As the late afternoon light begins to fade completely, casting long, ink-black shadows across the endless, rolling valleys of the Pacific, the hunting pod slowly begins to de-escalate its sensory assault. The energy cost of maintaining a high-intensity siege for over 4 hours is immense, and the orcas operate within a strict framework of risk management that prioritizes the long-term health of the family over immediate success. With a final series of low-frequency whistles that signal a formal retreat, the pack dissolves its tight geometric formation, sliding back into the deep twilight zone to seek out lower-risk foraging opportunities along the equatorial currents. The exhausted sperm whales remain in their tight defensive ring for nearly an hour after the final orca silhouette has vanished into the dark water, their massive bodies slowly relaxing as their internal sonar scans confirm that the perimeter is once again completely vacant. The matriarch emits a long, rhythmic series of reassurance codas, signaling to the calves that it is finally safe to break the circle and take the deep, unrestricted breaths needed to restore their oxygen reserves. The family has survived the ultimate test of endurance, their ancient cultural traditions proving sufficient once again to protect the next generation from the most advanced tactical force in the sea. The ongoing chronicle of the deep ocean reminds us that beneath the trackless surface of the blue plains lies a parallel world of profound intelligence, deep emotional bonds, and unmatched strategic genius that human science is only beginning to fully comprehend. By preserving these vast pelagic habitats and respecting the complex societies that inhabit them, we ensure that the grandest theater of evolutionary history remains intact for generations to come, allowing the true monarchs of the abyss to continue their eternal dance of strategy and survival across the open sea. The journey on Wild Planet 10 concludes here for now, but our independent mission to document the great mysteries of the wilderness never stops. We will continue to track the global movements of the ponds, analyze the deep acoustic signatures of the ocean, and stand as faithful chroniclers for the true rulers of the deep. The world is a vast, beautiful, and endlessly surprising place, and it is our greatest privilege to share these stories with you. Keep your eyes fixed on the distant horizon, your mind open to the unfolding wonders of creation, and your spirit firmly rooted in the wild. Stay safe, stay observant, and keep watching the waves for the next chapter in the empire of the monarchs. The vast expanse of the northern Pacific Ocean lies under a thick blanket of rolling fog, where a subarctic ecotype of orcas has initiated a highly specialized behavioral pattern known as the sensory blackout protocol. This advanced maneuver is deployed exclusively when a hunting pod encounters a large school of adult Pacific salmon navigating through a dense underwater kelp forest. Instead of using high-intensity echolocation clicks, which the sensitive lateral lines of the salmon can easily detect from a distance, the orcas transition into complete acoustic isolation, turning off their internal sonar systems entirely and relying strictly on their passive underwater vision in the structural layout of the seafloor to execute a flawless ambush. Welcome back to Wild Planet X. It is an absolute privilege to have you with us for this 8th chapter of our ongoing script writing project, where we explore the most hidden atmospheric tactical dimensions of the marine empire in the year 2026. Today, we are breaking down the fluid intelligence that allows these apex predators to completely suppress their primary sensory tools when facing prey that can read acoustic signals. Before we reveal the final mechanics of this silent harvest, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment below. Do you believe the orca ability to consciously deactivate their echolocation to outsmart prey is a sign of a high-level theory of mind? Your continuous engagement is the exact engine that allows our independent team to keep documenting the raw reality of the wild. The internal coordination required to sustain a completely silent hunt within a complex three-dimensional environment like a kelp forest is a testament to the profound social synchronization of the pod. The family forms a wide horizontal line along the outer edge of the kelp canopy, with individual animals maintaining a precise distance of exactly 50 meters from one another. This spatial alignment is managed without a single vocalization, as each orca watches the subtle movements of the dorsal fin of the neighbor next to them, using visual cues to ensure that the defensive line remains perfectly unbroken as they move through the dark green fronds. Furthermore, recent underwater tracking data indicates that the orcas use the natural movement of the kelp itself to mask their physical silhouettes. By matching their swimming velocity to the rhythm of the ocean swells pushing through the underwater forest, the predators blend seamlessly into the moving background, making it virtually impossible for the salmon to distinguish between a passing wave and the approach of a 6-ton hunter. This is an advanced application of environmental mimicry, proving that the orca does not merely hunt within an ecosystem, but actively incorporates the physics of the habitat into its tactical playbook. When the leading edge of the salmon school finally enters the designated ambush zone, the orcas execute a simultaneous downward dive, using their massive tail flukes to pin the fish against the rocky seafloor. This sudden movement creates a localized pressure wave that stuns the highly mobile fish, preventing them from scattering into the deeper channels of the open sea. The harvest is completed with incredible calmness and efficiency, with each member of the family taking exactly what is needed, while the juveniles observe the silent positioning from the periphery, learning the exact visual markers required to sustain the lineage in the changing waters of the North Pacific. Please take a moment to ensure you are fully subscribed to our channel and have joined our global community of wildlife observers. Your continuous interaction with our scripts is what enables Wild Planet XXX to continue spending hundreds of hours researching, formatting, and presenting these detailed accounts of wilderness survival. Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts on the incredible stealth capabilities of these deep-sea monarchs, as your feedback is the vital force that drives our mission forward. The long-term resilience of these subarctic pods after a successful silent operation highlights the critical evolutionary value of behavioral plasticity. In a world where marine resources are constantly shifting due to industrial fishing and changing ocean temperatures, the ability to switch between high-intensity acoustic sieges and complete sensory blackouts ensures that the community can exploit every available food source without experiencing a decline in overall population health. The orca stands as a master of adaptation, a sovereign entity that views every new environmental challenge as a puzzle to be solved through collective intelligence and structured education. As the heavy fog begins to lift over the cold northern waters, revealing the distant, snow-capped peaks of the coastline, the hunting pod slowly reforms its tight swimming configuration, traveling in a perfect line toward the deep blue waters of the open strait. The matriarch emits a single, long-frequency whistle, signaling the end of the sensory blackout and allowing the family to resume their complex acoustic conversations as they navigate toward the next frontier. The empire of the monarchs remains completely unchallenged, a parallel society built on the foundations of absolute unity, profound wisdom, and an eternal mastery over the secrets of the abyss. The journey on Wild Planet X concludes here for now, but our independent mission to document the great chronicles of the wild never stops. We will continue to track the movements of the global poem, listen to their voices in the dark, and stand as faithful guardians for the legacy of the true kings of the deep. The world is a vast, beautiful, and endlessly surprising place, and it is our greatest privilege to share these stories with you. Keep your eyes fixed on the distant horizon, your mind open to the unfolding wonders of creation, and your spirit firmly rooted in the wild. Stay safe, stay curious, and keep watching the waves for the next